what's up you guys? Welcome back to the Kordial Media YouTube channel. My name is Adriana and I help influencers and Shopify e-commerce businesses drive traffic and sales utilizing Pinterest. In today's video, we are going to talk about all things dropshipping and Pinterest. I'm going to tell you what you can do, what you shouldn't do, what you can test out, what you can't test out, and all the ins and outs regarding promoted pins and dropshipping. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button and to hit the bell to be notified every single time I post a new video here on the Kordial Media YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. One thing that I want to discuss before we really dive into all the questions that usually come up with dropshippers and Pinterest ads is that I want you to remember that Pinterest is not Facebook. The mindset and the Pinterest and the best practices that are involved with Facebook are not the same ones as the Pinterest best practices. So I'm going to actually debunk a lot of the mindset questions that I get from dropshippers that are coming from Facebook over to Pinterest. So the very first question that I get a lot of the times is, can you turn on and off Pinterest ads after 3 days? I know with dropshipping there's a lot of testing involved and I completely understand that, and we are going to talk about how to test properly your products within this video. But in regards to shutting off your ads every 3 days, it is actually a Pinterest malpractice to do that, because Pinterest needs 2-week learning period. It's ridiculously long, I'm completely aware of that, but they do want you to stick it out for 2 weeks before you actually make a judgment as to whether or not your ads are performing for your business. If you are constantly testing out ads every 3 days, none of your ads will ever have the chance to properly learn, and therefore you might not see as good results as you want long term. You'll also never be able to really get your ROAS beyond a 2. For some people, a 2 is great, but if you want to see your ROAS grow to like 3, 4, and 5, shutting off your ads every 3 days is not the way to do so. Keep in mind as well that the pinner buying behavior is different than any other platform. You're hitting pinners at the research stage, and therefore it does really take them that 2-week period to finish their research stage and then decide whether or not they want to commit to buying your product. Once you've passed the 2-week period, that is when you can start optimizing every 4 to 7 days. Question number 2, should you launch new campaigns every single day? This a lot of the times is tied into the fact that you want to test out different products every single day, and the answer to that is actually no. It is really not a Pinterest best practice to launch new ads every single day. I came across an ad account where we were running like 40 campaigns at once, and every single day about 5 were being added, and what that ended up doing was completely dropping the blended ROAS. Every single day, we could not get the account beyond 1.5 because this advertiser wouldn't understand that launching new campaigns every single day on Pinterest doesn't work the same way as on Facebook, and that on Pinterest, it drops your ROAS consistently. The name of the game with Pinterest is really patience. It's not the most appealing thing. I completely understand that, and it sucks to have to wait for your ads to convert. But if you commit to maybe a lower daily budget and you can stick it out for 2 weeks, that is probably a better approach than constantly testing out new ads every single day. There's also a point of diminishing returns on Pinterest, meaning the more campaigns you have, eventually you hit a cap and you end up seeing your ROAS tank as opposed to continue to increase. If you want to test out multiple campaigns at once, I really do recommend you not test out more than 10 campaigns at once, and that you really make sure that the targeting of every single campaign is drastically different so they're not competing against each other. The only time that you can reuse the exact same targeting, meaning interests and keywords, for example, is when you are promoting to different countries in different campaigns altogether. So you might be wondering, how do you actually effectively test different products within campaigns in Pinterest? And that is by launching one campaign with no more than 4 ad groups, and each ad group can have its own set of 4 creatives, and therefore each creative can link to one product. So let's say you have one campaign, 4 ad groups, meaning you can test out 4 products, and within each ad group, they each have their own 4 creatives. That is really the best way to test which products are gonna work the best on Pinterest for your audience. And that is because most Pinterest campaigns have campaign budget optimization, meaning it pushes the budget to the most performing ad group. And so that is one way that you're able to monitor whether or not you have a winning product within your bunch. Maybe you're asking yourself, will the other ad groups actually have a fighting chance against that one winning ad group? And the answer is sometimes no, it doesn't. The other ad groups don't have a fighting chance. So what I would do in that case is I would launch one campaign with 4 different ad groups, testing 4 different products, 1 product per ad group, letting one win, or maybe 2 of them will win. And then what you can do is shut off the 2 others and extract them from that campaign and relaunch those 2 ad groups together in a separate campaign. So then that's a second way for you to test if there's a winning product in that second campaign without really affecting the performance of the first campaign. Alternatively, you can also choose to launch maybe 3 campaigns at once, and in each campaign you can have 4 ad groups testing 4 different products. So that's one way to test out, like 12 products in one shot without having to actually create 12 separate campaigns. The next question is, how do you actually scale a dropshipping store on Pinterest? There are multiple ways to do this, but let's say you found your winning products. You obviously want to let those continue run. The best way to scale those ad groups and those products is to add a little bit more budget every single week. You can increase budget by about 30% every single week without actually causing your campaigns to be thrown back in learning. So that's a good way to gradually scale without completely disrupting your campaigns. So once a week, increase by 30% the most performing campaigns with the winning ad groups. And then you can scale by testing out completely different strategies as well. So you can test out act-alikes, retargeting, dynamic retargeting, prospecting campaigns, video views. There's a bunch of different types of campaigns that you can actually test out in order to scale your business. And ideally, I would utilize the winning products from your store and repackage them with different creatives within different campaigns to give a new life to those products and a potentially new audience to go after, and therefore help you scale as a result. If you're wondering how to optimize your promoted pins, I do have a complete cheat sheet code guide that you can download in the description box below. It outlines the different scenarios that you may encounter, and it tells you exactly what to do in order to optimize as a result. Next question, should you use the same interest across all of your campaigns or even all of your ad groups? And the answer is absolutely not. You should definitely change the different interests that you are targeting in every single ad group and every single campaign, unless you're promoting to different countries. But if you're choosing to promote only in one country or 2, you definitely do not want to overlap the interests. So I would be really careful as to how you select your level 1 interest and your level 2 interest across all of your campaigns. I was told one time by a dropshipper that they didn't believe that the interests would compete against each other, but the ROAS spoke for itself. It was way below 2, it wasn't performing well, and that was because this person was continuously duplicating the campaigns and just like relaunching them with maybe different creatives but the same interests, and it gave the algorithm absolutely no idea as to what to promote or where to spend its budget because there was too much audience overlap and too many interests fighting against each other. So you may test it yourself, but I do really strongly suggest that you don't overlap interests and that you do your best to try and make sure that the interests are varied within every single ad group and campaign. Now, a bit like the interest question, should you use the same creatives across all your ad groups and campaigns? And the answer is no. Duplicate creatives end up fighting against each other, and what happens is that the algorithm doesn't know where to spend its budget. So if you can have different creatives in every single ad group, that is the best solution for you, again, unless you're promoting in a different country. How many creatives should you actually have per ad group? And the best practice for this is between 2 and 4 creatives per ad group, no less than 2 and really no more than 4. If there's 5 creatives in an ad group, or even like 6 or 8 or whatever, the algorithm doesn't know where to spend its budget. Pinterest is really sensitive like that for some reason. It just is what it is. So you want to keep it to 4. And if you have only 1 creative, it doesn't end up actually spending enough. So you want to make sure you have 2 creatives at least, but a maximum of 4 at all times. That wraps up everything that you need to know when it comes to drop shipping and promoted pins. I hope you guys learned a thing or two in this video. If you have a question about your drop shipping store and your promoted pins, feel free to write it in the comment box below. I will be more than happy to answer you as well. If you want to speak to an expert like myself about your promoted pins, feel free to book a meeting with me. It's totally free. You and I just chat about your Pinterest account and we see if we are a good fit to work together. On that note, I'm going to wish you a lovely rest of your day, and we will chat in the next video. Bye for now.